Completing joiner and leaver pension forms in PCSE Online. Pension joiner forms need to be completed on PCSE Online when a GP or non-GP partner joins your practice and they are a member of the NHS pension scheme. The pension joiner form ensures pension contributions are started for your selected GP or non-GP partner. The pension joiner form can be completed as soon as your GP's employment change request has been approved by all parties, i.e. the practice and the ICB. Once the employment update has been approved, the practice user with the GPP, joiners and leavers role in PCSE Online needs to complete the joiner form to confirm the GP's estimated income and tier rate to start the deduction of pension contributions. It is also important to complete the pension joiner form as soon as you're able to do so. This will reduce the risk of any large payment adjustments being made from your practice. In order to complete the pension joiner form, you'll first need to make sure that your GP has been assigned to your practice. When a GP joins, leaves, or changes their role at your practice, they'll need to log into their PCSE Online account and submit an employment change to PCSE. As soon as PCSE receive the employment change request from the GP, PCSE will send an email to the email address linked to that practice, alerting them that a GP has submitted an employment change request that requires the practice approval. It will then be down to the practice to approve or reject that change. We just ask that you log into your PCSE Online account, check the dates that the GP have provided are correct, and then either accept or reject the request. Please be aware that the GP can submit two different types of requests. They can either join your practice as a salaried GP or a principal GP, i.e. GP partner. If the request is for a salaried role, then all you'll need to do is approve the request, and then you'll be able to complete the pension joiner form in PCSE Online. If the GP in question has applied as a principal GP or has changed their status at your practice to a principal GP, i.e. GP partner, once the request has been approved by the practice, it will then be the responsibility of the Commissioner, i.e. the ICB, to start the contract change and then approve the request in PCSE Online. If the GP has submitted a request to join the practice as a principal, i.e. GP partner, the ICB will only see the request once it has been approved by the practice. Once the GP employment change request has been approved by both the practice and the ICB, this is when the practice can complete the joiner form in PCSE Online. At this point, PCSE will also contact NHS BSA to generate the prescriber number for the GP. For salaried GPs, the GP will be able to find their prescriber number within their PCSE Online account. This is the same for a GP principal, i.e. GP partner. However, PCSE will also email this information to the partner GP. Only once the GP joiner form has been completed in PCSE Online will your GP appear on the practice estimate form. When completing the practice estimate form, and you notice that your GP does not appear there, you'll need to check that the GP joiner has been correctly completed in PCSE Online. If you're having trouble locating your GP on the GP pension joiner form, it may be that the performer list employment change approval hasn't been completed. This could mean that either the GP hasn't submitted an employment change request, the practice haven't approved the request, or you're still waiting for the ICB to approve the request. It may be that you're trying to add a newly qualified GP to your pension joiner form. However, it's possible that the pension record has never been administrated through PCSE, and you'll need to provide us with the GP's SD number. You can do this by calling our customer contact centre. I'll now go into detail about completing the pension joiner form in PCSE Online. In order to complete the joiner form in PCSE Online, you'll first need to log into your PCSE Online account, click on GP Pensions and Payments, click Pensions, click on Practice Joiner, and then select Joiner Entry Form. Completing the pension joiner form in PCSE Online is easy. Once you're on the form, simply select your joiner type, so whether you're completing the form on behalf of a GP or a non-GP partner, then simply search for your selected GP or non-GP partner. For a GP, we recommend using the GMC number to search, and for a non-GP partner, an SD number can be searchable. You can also search for their name as well if you wish. Once you have found your GP and selected their name, The details in the grey boxes will auto-populate with their details. The practice joiner form can be completed with a joining date in the current or previous financial year. However, please be aware that the joining date must match your GP's start date at the practice. If you have a GP that joins the practice but isn't part of the NHS pension scheme, then the practice do not need to complete this joiner form. However, if you have a GP that decides to join the pension scheme midway through their time at the practice, that's when you will need to complete the joiner form, and the start date you'll need is the date that they opted into the pension scheme and not the actual start date at the practice. You'll then need to select the income type, whether it's a partner type 1 or salaried GP type 2, and then select the box to match the financial year the GP joined your practice, and using the drop-down arrow, select your GP's tier rate. Further information about tier rates can be found on the NHS Pensions website. Once you have selected the correct tier rate for your GP, you can then enter your GP's estimated NHS pensionable income for your practice. If your GP has an estimated solo income, freelance GP locum income, or income pensioned at other surgeries, you can also enter that detail here. However, if they don't, you can simply enter the figure as shown on screen. Once you are happy with the details you have entered for your GP, you will notice that the date will have auto-populated. You can then tick to confirm that you're happy with the details and then select Submit. You also have the option to save for later or print if you wish. This will then automatically calculate the monthly payments and start pension contributions for that GP or GP partner. If your GP or non-GP partner doesn't appear on the form when you search for them, you'll need to check the following information has been completed. For GPs, you'll need to ensure that an employment change request has been completed and has been approved by either the practice or the ICB where required. Also, if you're trying to include a newly qualified GP, it may be that PCSE have never administrated their pension details through PCSE Online, so you'll need to give PCSE a call and provide us with that GP's SD number. If it's a non-GP partner, you need to make sure that they've been assigned the non-GP partner role in PCSE Online. If they do not have this role, their details will not be searchable on this form. If you need to view a previously completed joiner form, simply log into your PCSE Online account, click on GP Pensions and Payments, click Pensions, click on Practice Joiner, and then select Joiner Listing. This will then show you all the previously completed joiner forms by your practice. To summarise the pension joiner form, pension joiner forms can only be completed once the GP is correctly aligned to your practice. Meaning, if a GP joins your practice, they need to submit an employment change via PCSE Online to be included at your practice. If you've got a salaried GP that already works at your practice and they're changing their role to a principal GP, i.e. GP partner, the same rules apply. The GP will need to log into PCSE Online to notify us of that change. If you cannot locate your GP on the pension joiner form, it may mean that the employment change has not been fully completed. It may be that it's waiting a practice approval or waiting the approval of the ICB. Or it may be that the GP has not submitted that request through PCSE Online. For newly qualified GPs, you may need to call PCSE and provide us with the GP's SD number. And for non-GP partners, they must have the non-GP partner role in PCSE Online. Only once the pension joiner form is complete will your GP appear on the practice estimate form in PCSE Online. I'll now run through completing the pension leaver form in PCSE Online. Pension leaver forms need to be completed on PCSE Online when a GP or non-GP partner leaves your practice and they are a member of the NHS pension scheme. The pension leaver form ensures that pension contributions from your practice are stopped for your selected GP or non-GP partner. Pension leaver forms can be completed as soon as you know the date your GP or a non-GP partner is leaving your practice. In order to complete the pensions leaver form, you'll need the GPP joiners and leavers role in PCSE Online. It's also a good practice to speak to your PCSE Online user administrator at the practice to ensure any leavers access is removed from your organisation. To find the practice pension leaver form, log into your PCSE Online account, click GP Pensions and Payments, click Pensions, and then select Leaver Entry Form. On the same page, you also have the option to view previously completed leaver forms. Simply select Leaver Application Listings. Completing the leaver entry form is easy. First, you'll need to select your GP from the drop-down menu, and then include their intended leaving date. And once you're happy with those details, tick to confirm, and then select Submit. Once the date arrives that you've entered on the leaver form, this ensures that pension contributions from your practice are stopped for your selected GP or non-GP partner. Non-GP partners in PCSE Online. If you have a non-GP partner at your practice that needs to make contributions because they're part of the NHS pension scheme, you will first need to ensure that the non-GP partner role has been assigned to your non-GP partner in PCSE Online. The non-GP partner role in PCSE Online will need to be assigned by the GPP user administrator at the practice. If your non-GP partner doesn't have this role, then you will not be able to locate them on the pension joiner or leaver form. Thank you for watching this video about managing your joiners and leavers in PCSE Online.